Good morning, dreamers. How are you today? In my Ontario cup. That's where I am. um, I was getting ready to do this and I was a little perturbed because yesterday my camera just completely shut off and nothing happened. And I was like, what is going on? And then my computer said, hey, you don't have a lot of space left. And it was because something new had been downloaded last week by the kids, and some of their games just take a lot of memory, and I have to figure all that out. Right? I just hadn't had time to doctor up my computer. There's plenty of room. I just have to put it all in the right place. Anyway, it reminded me of life. In the last few weeks, I have been running on fumes because there's no capacity left for anything else. And it's not because I had been overly busy and I was making myself busy. It was all these things from life were coming in, right? Like at in the middle of August, our banking was hacked, and so we lost a whole bunch of our wedding fund. It's been restored. Don't send money. I'm not asking for that. The money's been restored, but it's a stressor that is not um, of my own making, and it is I have to be the one to fix it, right? So there was that, and then the car accident right before back to school, and then right before back to school, there's right after back to school, there was new meds for Jimmy, and Carl, new meds for him as well, and it was just like all of these things just kind of collected, and my capacity was it was already pretty low because dad's heart attack in the summer, and just all the emotions that come with that. And it was just one of those things where I was like, I just don't have any more room, right? And so then you have this big party that's happening in 18 days, and there's plans and things to do for the wedding, which is all of them are good things. But I was just, my capacity, well, I shouldn't say the car accident was a good thing, but it's grown me a whole lot. So we'll just, how much you can handle. And so I remembered that as I'm cleaning up my computer and trying to make space for this morning's video before I do a full rampage on it. But it's, sometimes we hit our capacity. And we have to have a little notification come up and say, make space before you do anything else. And it's like, oh. So the tears that come out aren't necessarily flippant. It's not overthinking the thoughts that are coming. When the past rears its ugly head and tries to steal your joy from right now. Like, those things are not abnormal. At least I don't think they are. But they're moments that are saying, those are your pop-up screens saying, make space before you add anything else. So when those emotions are big and loud, it doesn't mean they're not worth listening to. Every emotion is just a messenger as to what's going on, right? And they're not to be feared. And if you're the receiver of a friend sharing those emotions, they're not to be played down. They're not to be, oh, it's okay, just get out of your funk, you've got this. No, it's okay to validate and go, wow, yeah, that's big. That's all you have to say. You don't have to fix it. Please don't fix it. They don't want you to fix it. They just need to be able to sit with it and listen to it. And they need you to listen with them and go, wow, that's big. Validate that there's something to listen to. It's not just and those that have stood beside me and given me hugs as I cry and listened. That's what I've needed in order to create space before you add anything. And I think I got to a place where I'm literally stressed and tight going, what's next? What's next? What do I have to deal with next? Right? I'm looking for the next rather than, okay, this got dealt with and everything's, waiting on insurance for the car and we got the money back from the bank think, and all those, like looking at those positive things. It's one of those things where I just got tighter and tighter and tighter and go, well, what's next? And sometimes there's no what's next except experience today. So whatever comes on your Tuesday, may you receive it. May you have the capacity with which to receive it. And if you don't have the capacity, guess what? It's not yours to receive. It's not your assignment. Almighty God gives you what you need to deal with what is your assignment. It doesn't mean he doesn't give you more than you can handle. Sure he does, because then he handles it for you and with you. Like, that's part of growth and part of understanding that, yeah, it's life. You can't handle everything. And he might be wanting you to say no. He might be actually saying, this one's not yours, babe. I didn't give this to you. Right? And so that might be what he's saying. I don't know. Only you can determine what he's saying, and you do that through peace and quiet and going for a walk by the river and meditating on him. But you have what you need to deal with your assignments. So if you're getting a little overwhelmed, then you have pop-up messages coming saying clear up space before you add anything else. Listen to the pop-up messages, because they will have your back in the form of emotions. They're valid. Sometimes you just need to sit and have a coffee with a friend to process them. And that's okay. You can be alone too, I get that. But Stella's always here, so. Right, Stella? Anyway, know that I love you. I am here for you as much as I am able with my capacity. But I do love you. And I want you to have an amazing day. And yes, I will move my computer around. This is a lot of finicky stuff behind me. But it's just where my computer landed. So that's where I sat today. It's still Grandma's table. That's the most important thing. Know that I love you.